Hey everyone! Here in our orientation week, I'm back with a little message today, giving you some more background about the foundations of the program and getting you in the right kind of headspace to move forward and get the most out of our year together. In the welcome video, I mentioned two of the key principles of change that I firmly believe in and are really an integrated part of the program here. The first one being that people change by doing and experiencing, not by knowing. And the second one, that success greatly increases when we focus on just one habit at a time. I'm going to expand on these a little bit and add a third one here to set the stage for success for you this year. So looking at number one, the idea of doing versus knowing is probably one that's not really new to a lot of you. If you can think about something related to nutrition where you can say to yourself, I know what to do and I'm not doing it. And that is a very common place to be when it comes to nutrition. Or you're able to actually do something for a short period of time, but it's not sustainable and you don't end up doing it consistently. So that's the piece built right into this program with the daily habits. We'll be focusing on doing, and the instructions for what to focus on will be very clear and simple. The nutrition world is so full of information and it comes at you from so many different sources, and so many of them are conflicting with one another. It's hard to know exactly what direction to go in. So that's one thing that I'm going to help you along with this year, and we'll make it clear and simple, one habit at a time, what you can work on. Number two here, the idea of success being increased when we do one thing at a time. If you're interested in this kind of topic, there's a great book called The Power of Less, which is really does a really good job of explaining this concept. And the idea is when we try to change a number of things all at one time, our focus is really divided. And in the end, although we think we're going to be achieving more, we actually end up achieving less because the focus is not there enough on any one of those things to really make true change happen. So by pulling back and actually focusing on less at a time, you end up in the long run being able to achieve more. So the start of this program, as we get into the habits, may feel a little bit like it's moving along a little more slowly for some of you than you would like. You're motivated, you're excited, here you are, you want to get going and get the changes happening right away. And we're going to start small. So by looking at small changes right off the bat, I'm going to challenge you to really hone that focus of yours in on the one particular habit that we're doing at a time. So over the course of the year, remember we have 12 full months together, we're going to be able to cover a lot of ground. Now, when you think about food, we actually make around 200 decisions about food every day. And when you look at doing something like pulling out a new meal plan and following that, you're essentially changing that many food decisions all at once. It's kind of no wonder that doing something like following a strict meal plan is something we can only really do for a short period of time. So we're looking at long-term habit changes, taking things one step at a time. So although things may feel like they're not moving quite as quickly as you'd like, try to remind yourself of this idea. If you can really focus in on the one thing we are doing, you're more likely to build that particular habit and skill more deeply and be able to hang on to it and have it be part of your life moving forward. And then when the next habit comes, we'll be building on top of the habits that have already been started to be developed for you. Now, the piece I'd like to add here, number 3, when we look at foundations of this program, is the idea that we want to focus on doing something all the time versus this all or nothing So a saying you'll hear through the program and probably hear me say is that always something is better than all or nothing. Now, this one can be a real challenge for many of us. And I know oftentimes it still is for me to step out of that all or nothing mentality where I'm on or I'm off. I'm on the wagon or I'm off the wagon. I'm going to do this full out or I'm not going to do it at all. So that's something that I'm really going to challenge your thinking around over the course of the year. And it's going to feel uncomfortable probably for many of you because it's a space that a lot of us live in. So to expand on this concept a little bit, I'm going to introduce this idea of what's been called the pause button mentality. So I'm going to share an article with you by John Berardi, the founder of Precision Nutrition and co-creator of the program you're going to follow online from Precision Nutrition. And he introduces this concept of the pause button mentality when it comes to our health and fitness. The idea that when something in life happens, when life demands go up, that we decide to just put our health or fitness on pause. So we're not going to not come back to it or not do it anymore. We're just going to pause it for now, and then we'll get back to it when life settles down. Now, when you think about that, I'm sure you can think about what the challenge is with that and why that is not actually the best way for us to move forward. Life happens all the time. And if you use this pause button mentality, you're really going to be on pause probably more than you're going to be on the wagon. So if we practice pausing when life gets hard or demands go up, what we're really building is the skill of how to pause. We're building the skill of pausing and then building the skill of being full on and hitting it hard and then pausing again. And when we look at how real change happens over time and how we can create change that lasts, we really want to be able to maintain the practices no matter what is going on in life. It can't be the perfect plan that takes place only when the stars are aligned and all the kids are happy and you hit all the green lights on the way into the office. These kinds of things are really not the way real life happens. So when we set our plans and our goals and what we're working on, we really need to set them so that they can actually happen and take place in the context of our real lives every day. So when you think about this idea of the pause button mentality, what I'm going to challenge you to do over the course of this year is when life demands go up in other areas. Work demands get high, you're not feeling well, or you're dealing with something with one of your children. Maybe it's competition or playoff hockey season and you've got a couple of kids on the rink all the time. Demands are going up. Family demands go up if you're looking after a parent or a grandparent. When those kinds of things happen, instead of pushing pause, and in this case, instead of kind of disappearing from the program here, what I'm going to challenge you to do is just dial down the efforts in your nutrition and fitness practice. Don't turn them off, but think about just dialing them down. So if you were to say my regular workout schedule is 3 days a week and I'm at the gym and I do it at this time of day. Now, if you're looking to dial that down, instead of then not going at all, could your dial down be maybe I'm going to go 2 days this week and on the third day I'm going to take a walk at lunch at work? Or maybe we need to dial it down a little bit more and you're going to go 1 day a week and on the other 2 days you're going to take a walk or perhaps do a partial workout at home. Same with nutrition. So when demands go up and you're feeling like you're not able to incorporate all of the pieces of nutrition that you'd like to, how can you dial that down? Are there ways that you can still be working on and moving forward with small changes in your eating without putting the whole thing on pause? So I talk about this concept with each of you individually, and in the message here, I'm going to share the link to the Pause Button Mentality article online, which is one you can read, and you can also download a podcast version to listen to it. So think about these 3 key principles as we move forward. The first one being that we're going to be focusing on doing stuff to really help change happen and not just knowing things. Secondly, we're going to do one small thing at a time and know that the cumulative effect of those small things over the course of this year are going to add up to big changes. And finally, think about always something versus all or nothing. And challenge yourself to get a bit of a concept in your head of that dial up and dial down idea. So when life gets a little more challenging and demands in one area of life dial up, how are you going to dial down your efforts in your fitness or nutrition without turning them off or pressing pause altogether? Okay, until next time, have a great day.